you've seen some of my other videos, you'll know that I've been adding credit cards mainly for our wedding spend that we have upcoming later this year. But along the way, we've actually prioritized adding cards that we could see fitting into our wallet long term to maximize our rewards that we're earning in some of our top spending categories. So I thought it would be a good idea to take a break in this video from thinking about our wedding spend, which thank God we definitely need a planning break. And instead, I want to talk about how we're using these cards in our everyday or monthly spending. So let's get into it. So let's actually go through my backup wallet here first, and let's look at the cards that I don't actually carry with me every day. And I guess the one that hardly ever gets used is the Delta Blue card. The only thing I'll say about this card is it truly is terrible. The only reason I have it is to downgrade to a no annual fee option from the Delta Platinum personal card that I held up until December of 2024. Here is that personal Delta Platinum card. As you can see, it got a lot of wear and tear, being my only credit card over the last 6 years. And that's one thing that I do love about the Delta family of cards, is that they do have that no annual fee option that you can downgrade to. Especially for me, having that Delta Platinum card is my oldest credit card for the last 6, almost 7 years now. I did not want to cancel that card because I wanted to avoid hurting my average length of credit history on my credit report. But back to the Blue card, again, this really is a terrible credit card. I guess that's only redeeming quality is the fact that it does give you some free check bags, which I'm already getting with my Delta Gold status anyway, so this really doesn't get used other than like a $4 Apple Care charge that we use for my fiance's Apple Watch every month. The main reason that I made that downgrade and didn't just keep that card to keep the annual Economy Companion certificate was, number one, I wasn't really using that certificate every year anyway, and with such a large amount of spend that we had for our wedding, I knew I wanted to hit at least one more sign-up bonus in the Delta family of cards. And it might sound a little counterintuitive, but the card that I actually landed on was the Delta Platinum Business card. Main reason being that I wanted to retain a lot of the same benefits that came with that personal card, like the Takeoff 15 benefit, the Delta Stays credit, which is actually higher on this card, and that Economy Companion certificate. If I do want to keep this card past year 1 into year 2, I will have that Economy Companion certificate every single year. But if you don't know, the Economy Companion certificate only actually gets deposited into your Delta account once your card renews every single year and you do pay that annual fee. So knowing that my annual fee was about to renew on that personal Delta card, essentially throughout the month of December, or the first couple of weeks, I guess, I was refreshing my email inbox, just kind of waiting to see when that certificate would actually get added to my Delta account from that personal card. Literally the day that I got that email, I went into my Delta account, I saw the companion certificate in there, and that's when I made the decision to downgrade that personal card down to the Blue, and then immediately apply for that Delta Platinum Business card a couple days later. So the business card literally stayed in my wallet for no more than a couple of days when we went to hit that sign-up bonus and we were spending against that. And as soon as we did, it kind of fell into the stack of cards that I don't really carry every day. I do try to spend on this card at least 1 or 2 swipes per month just to make sure that my account is active and I'm keeping Amex happy so that they're getting their swipe fees. The next card in my backup wallet is the Chase Freedom Unlimited. Main reason that I don't carry this every day is because I did just add the Chase Ink Unlimited card, and my fiance just did the same thing through my referral link, so we are spending on her Ink Unlimited towards that sign-up bonus. And we are actually trying to leverage the 0% APR offer that comes with both of our Ink Unlimited cards in a couple of really unique ways that I think you can find value from, so make sure you stick around to the end of the video. And the last card that I do not actually carry every day is going to be the Chase Sapphire Preferred. I just covered this card in a different video where I compared it to the Ink Preferred card and how I think that Ink Preferred is actually a better option for me. But in terms of how I'm spending on this card right now, it does mainly just get used for 3x back on my streaming services, and some miscellaneous travel like Airbnbs or rental cars will go on the CSP. And given that we are booking those miscellaneous trips every now and then, we're usually doing that from home anyway, so there's no real reason that this needs to be in my everyday wallet. Switching over to the wallet that I do actually carry every day, I do actually have the Extra wallet in black, and what I am calling Barretto Black. Shout out to my man Joe over at the Credit Card Connection. I really do love this wallet, and let's actually go in order of the cards that I use the least. The first one being my personal debit card. This really never gets used. It's basically in my wallet in case of emergency if I ever have to take out some cash. So now over to a card that actually does get used pretty consistently. The first one being the Bonvoy Brilliant card. I mainly just use this card at least once a month at a restaurant to get the $25 a month dining credit that comes with this card. In terms of spending multipliers, you are earning 3x back on airfare, 3x back on dining, and 2x back on every other purchase, which in theory sound like decent multipliers, but given the value associated with Bonvoy points, this doesn't really get any primary spending for us. A few of the main reasons that we did apply for this card was primarily the Platinum Elite status that comes with that Brilliant card. Granted, it comes with a $650 annual fee, but that Platinum Elite status could easily get us some complimentary upgrades. At least that's what we're hoping on our honeymoon. You also get a 85k free night award with this card that can be topped up with 15k additional Bonvoy points every single year once your card annual fee renews. We are using the Brilliant card for priority pass access to get into some airport lounges if we ever need it, but I'd say 98% of the time we do fly Delta, and we will be getting into the Delta Sky Club. Outside of some of those key benefits with the card, the main reason that I jumped on this right away in early September was for the elevated sign-up bonus at the time of 185,000 Bonvoy points for just 6,000 and spend in 6 months. So with a combination of our everyday spending and some wedding charges, we hit that sign-up bonus no problem, and we are well on our way to earning a nice little nest egg of points for our eventual honeymoon. So the next least used card is probably our Business Platinum card. Similar to the Brilliant, this was really a card more so for the perks and its elevated sign-up bonus of 250,000 MR points after 20,000 in spend in 3 months. I actually don't think that we're going to get a ton of value out of this card, with the credits on the personal card could easily offer us more value. As you may know about the business or personal platinum cards, they're not really primary spenders, so this Business Platinum does earn 5x back through AMEX Travel on both flights and hotels, 1.5x back on US construction materials, electronic goods and software providers, US shipping charges, and any purchase over $5,000 does get you that 1.5x back. In terms of actually swiping this card in person, it really doesn't get used hardly at all. I do have a couple of more expensive online software subscriptions linked to this card to earn that 1.5x back and make sure that I am spending on this every month. But outside of that, it literally never gets pulled out of my wallet unless I'm at the airport. But it is a platinum card. There's no way I can put this in the backup wallet. I mean, look at it. As I said, that card doesn't really get swiped, but the main use for it that I found the most value from is the 35% points rebate when booking through AMEX Travel using your MR points. This is a great way of basically guaranteeing that I'm always getting at least 1.5 cents per point when I am booking domestic flights, much like the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Like I said, I do try and fly Delta a majority of the time, which is usually pretty easy, as Boston is my home airport and that is a Delta hub, but Boston also is a JetBlue hub, and there are often a lot more options and oftentimes cheaper options through JetBlue when flying out of Boston. So every once in a while, I will opt for one of those flights when I do use that Business Platinum benefit. So it allows me to book using my MR points without having to transfer those over to JetBlue to get the abysmal 1,000 MR points to 800 TrueBlue miles rate. And I can also avoid that excise tax fee when transferring those points out. So again, just a great simple way of making sure that I'm getting a decent redemption on those domestic flights. The next and last card that I'll pull out now that doesn't really get used outside of a few times every month is going to be the Bilt Mastercard. I covered the Bilt card in a separate video all the way back in December of 2024 when a lot of different rumors and headlines were swirling about Bilt and its business model looking ahead to 2025 at the time. And I'm sure you've seen by now, if you are interested in this credit card game at all, that Bilt has announced Bilt 2.0 and put out a survey to its cardholders for some different card options that could be coming later this year. I'll be covering that Bilt 2.0 in a separate video, so make sure you subscribe to the channel down below if you are interested to see that. But with the current no annual fee card in its current state, I do still stand by the fact that I said that it would be the best no annual fee card of 2025 and potentially the best credit card of this year. With the Bilt card, and what's made it so popular is the ability to earn 1x back on rent while Bilt waives the typical 2 or 3% transaction fee that you would normally get hit with when paying for your rent with a credit card. It also gives you things like 5x back on neighborhood dining and Lyft, 3x back on just normal dining, and 2x back for all your travel purchases. The only reason that I bet a lot of people out there do carry it in their everyday wallet is to hit the 5 transaction minimum that is required in order to activate that 1x back on rent every month. One of the card's most redeeming main qualities or benefits is what Bilt calls rent day, when they do double those spending multipliers for 24 hours, giving you the ability to earn an additional 1,000 bonus points during that 24-hour window. I truly believe that for the average consumer that the Bilt card is really a no-brainer, especially right now given its $0 annual fee. And if you don't have this card, you're essentially just losing out on points that you could normally be getting with your rent payments. As I mentioned, the Bilt card does not get used as my primary dining card, nor does that Chase Sapphire Preferred, both earning 3x, which is a very competitive multiplier. But the reason that they don't get used in that dining category is because I do have the king of all dining credit cards, that being the American Express Gold card. Personally, I love the Gold card, and I actually prefer some of the changes that they made with the refresh when they did raise the annual fee earlier in 2024, which I know may be a controversial or hot take, but since we do live near a major city, we can actually take almost full advantage of every single credit that's associated with this card, with the exception of that dining credit on, say, Grubhub, Five Guys, or I think it's Cheesecake Factory. We don't typically use Grubhub. We do try and stay within Uber's network with Uber Eats, but every once in a while, if the fiance's craving a restaurant way out in the middle of nowhere that's only on Grubhub, we do end up using that credit as well. So by using those credits, we are actually getting positive value on this card, which I get may not be the case for everybody. And on top of that, we do earn 4x back on 2 of our top 3 spending categories every month, with dining and groceries behind only rent as our true highest spending category every single month. Outside of that, I did use, I think, the 3x back on airfare that comes with the Gold card for, I think, some taxes on one of my flights that I booked for later this year. So this card gets used at least once a day, and I actually really like this white gold design. The best part about that card is that I am actually an authorized user on my fiance's account, so I can spend as much money as I want on food every single month, and I don't even have to worry about it. So last but certainly not least is the Chase Ink Unlimited card, and like I said, my fiance just got one herself, so picture another one right here. As I mentioned in the beginning, we are spending primarily on my fiance's card right now, trying to hit that sign-up bonus, but once that is over and done with, we will shift all of our catch-all spending back to my Ink Unlimited to take advantage of the 0% APR offer on that card. I do want to make a video on this strategy specifically, so I don't want to go into too much detail, but to keep it simple, all that we're doing is basically maxing out the credit limit that I have on my Chase Ink Unlimited, given that it has a 0% APR offer. The balance that we keep on that card is not going to collect interest, so instead of actually paying that statement balance off on time and in full every month, we're just making the minimum payment and instead shifting all that money to a high yield savings account. So basically, I go through as I do every 2 weeks and I pay off all my credit cards in full and on time. But instead of paying off that Ink Unlimited, I just sort of pay my high yield savings account instead with whatever the balance is at that time. I do owe a shout out to Nate over at the Fat Stacks Academy for the several videos that he's posted on using this strategy. And I really look forward to earning interest myself instead of paying that interest to the bank. The best part about this strategy is that because you're doing it on a business card, that utilization that you're carrying over by carrying a statement balance won't actually transfer over to your personal credit report. And again, more to come on this, and I definitely look forward to making a video in the future on all the value that I got out of using this strategy. So that really does it for my wallet and all the cards that we use as a couple for our everyday spending. And I look forward to sharing in future videos all the cards that we add to hit sign-up bonuses for our wedding, but also even after hitting those welcome offers, how those do end up fitting into our monthly organic spending habits. I think that's a key thing that anyone who is just adding credit cards for their wedding should keep in mind, and I cover that in my full wedding credit card guide, which I'll link right here. So like I said, this is just our credit card setup and our strategy. Feel free to rip it apart in the comments if you want to, but it definitely works for us, and we are getting a ton of positive value even outside of our wedding spend and those sign-up bonuses. If you got some value from seeing how we as a couple use credit cards in our everyday spending and which categories each of those fall into, make sure you slap that like button down below and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate anything that you guys can do to help get my videos and my channel out to some more people on YouTube. If you want to see all the points that I earned from these cards right at the end of 2024, which was basically just 3 months from my first application, make sure you check out this video next. Or if you're looking for more content on how you and your partner can optimize your spending, make sure you check out this video instead. Thank you as always so much for watching. I really do appreciate every single one of you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.